Hi, welcome to
Hinduism Made Hasty
by
Nick Johnson,
Alex Red,
Scott Caravan,
and noayoung. Despite Hinduism being the world's third largest and oldest religion, it remains unknown to many. Today we will break down the base of the religion through topics like the foundation of the religion, major gods and figures, the core beliefs, the origin and spread of the religion, the social structure, its dominance in 1450, its impact on politics, and treatment of women. Hopefully by the end of this podcast you will have a deeper understanding of Hinduism. We're going to start off with the controversial question of who founded Hinduism. It is difficult to say who the founder of the religion is, as it has a fusion of various beliefs. But it can be stated that it is the result of the merging of the ancient Indus Valley civilization and the nomads that came into India around 1500 BCE. Nowadays, this is modern-day Pakistan. Something that should be noted is that dates surrounding Hinduism are very controversial. But the earliest known source of literature in Hinduism is called the Rig Veda, which is a piece of literature made up of hymns. Hinduism and India are hand in hand. They both come from the same word, Sindhu, which is Sanskrit, or the ancient language of Hindus. Persians that lived on the Indus River tended to switch around their S's and H's, making the Sindhu word become Hindu, which is the term they coined for people living across the Indus River. These Persians told the Greeks, and the Greeks took the word Hindu, dropped the H, and replaced the U with an IA, making the word India. It's been evolving for thousands of years and will continue to evolve.
The second question asks if there's any major gods or major figures in Hinduism. During this time period, which is 1200 CE to 1450 CE, there's three major gods. The first god was known as Brahma. Brahma was the god that they believe created the universe. He wasn't worshipped the same as the other two gods because his work of creating the universe had already been finished. He was one of the more important gods because he created the universe and all the people and living things that were in it. Without him, the universe wouldn't exist and no living things would be alive. The next god, which was the second one, was known as Vishnu. Vishnu was the god who they believe preserved the universe. He was referred to as the greatest god by his Hindu worshippers. He was able to appear on earth in human form to save the world from any natural disasters. The third god they believed in was known as Shiva. He was the god that would destroy the universe so it could be recreated. His worshippers believed he was able to create, preserve, and destroy the universe, so he had all the powers that every god did. He was a very important god because the universe could not be recreated if he was not there to destroy it.
Third, we will talk about the core tenets and beliefs of Hinduism. There are 7 core beliefs in Hinduism. The first one is known as the belief in one universal soul. This soul is known as Brahman. There are different interpretations of Brahman, who is the supreme existence. In summary, Brahman is a formless, genderless source of all reality. The second core belief is the belief in an immortal individual soul. Hindu souls are known as Atman. It is believed that actions of the soul will carry on to the next life, stating that a soul moves to a new body. This is called transmigration. The third core belief is the belief in karma. The main idea is that the actions in the past affect our souls today, and the actions of our souls today will affect the future. Next, there is the belief in moksha. The main goal in Hindu life is to somehow get back to Brahman. By getting back to Brahman, they will be freed from the continuous cycle of life and death, which is all called moksha. Moksha is achieved by realizing your oneness with Brahman. Fifth is the belief in Vedas. Vedas are the 4 sacred books of Hinduism that contain knowledge. Each book was revealed to ancient Hindu sages. These 4 books are called the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. One of the main beliefs in Hinduism is the belief in cyclical time. The main idea of this theory is that there are no beginnings or ending of time. It's a series of cycles. Each cycle contains 4 ages, otherwise known as yugas. These are Krita, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali. At the end of each cycle, around 4.32 million years, it's believed that the decline in human morality will lead to the total destruction of reality. Currently, we are supposedly in the 4th and final yuga. Lastly, Hindus believe in Dharma. Although it's difficult to translate into English, Dharma is what maintains proper balance in the universe. Dharma can be achieved if animals, plants, and humans follow their Dharma. If Dharma is achieved, everything will be fine in the universe.
Origin and spread of Hinduism. Most people believe that Hinduism started between 2300 BCE and 1500 BCE, although many Hindus argue that it has always existed. It started in the Indus Valley when nomadic people migrated there and blended culturally with the natives. Between 500 BCE and 500 CE, sacred texts called the Epics and Puranas were created. These texts are often referred to as the basis of Hinduism and how it originated. From there, temple worship became popular and spread. In the first millennium of the Common Era, kingdoms in Southeast Asia adopted Hindu texts and ideas. It is thought to have come there through slow and steady immigration into those areas, and from Southeast Asians visiting India and taking Hinduism back with them. Many temples started arising, and Hinduism was taking off. Massive temples were built, such as ones in the Khmer Empire in present-day Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and southern Vietnam. From there, Hinduism kept on growing and growing. Today, Hinduism has amassed over 900 million followers and is the third most followed religion in the world.
Next, Nick will talk about the social structure of Hinduism.
The priests made up the highest social class, while the serfs made up the lowest, which means the warriors and aristocrats were the second highest, and the peasants and merchants were the third highest. Karma was also a big part of this system. It was believed that people who behaved well could be born into a higher caste, while people who did not behave well would be born into a lower caste. That's how the caste system worked during this time period for Hinduism.
Hinduism's dominant regions. Since 1500 BCE, Hinduism has grown a ton. In that time, it was dominant in the Indus Valley, where it started. From there, it spread further into India, where it became dominant. It also spread to parts of Southeast Asia, but was never really dominant there. In 500 CE, it was still dominant in India, mostly northern India. Hinduism kept growing, and more people were converting to it. In 1450, the dominant region of Hinduism was still India. Most Indians at that time were either Buddhist or Hindu, but mostly Hindu. At that time, Hinduism dominated South Asia. In India, it wasn't dominant in just the north anymore. It was almost all of India that was predominantly Hindu. Still today, Hinduism is regionally dominant in India and South Asia. More than 800 million Hindus live in India, which is 94% of them. Like we said earlier, Hinduism is one of the largest religions, and is still growing today.
The seventh question asked is, how did Hinduism affect politics in the area? Many Hindu empires were formed in India since the founding of Hinduism. These included the Brahmanic Empire, which lasted from 900 to 500 BCE, the Mauryan Empire, which lasted from 322 to 183 BCE, and the Gupta Empire, which lasted from 320 to 540 CE. These ancient empires succeeded each after the other for a span of nearly 2100 years. After the fall of the Gupta Empire, South Asia broke into many kingdoms. Notably, many Hindu Rajput kingdoms formed in northern India, keeping a centralized Hindu power from forming. These kingdoms fought with each other often, allowing for Islamic armies to expand into the area and take power, which led to the rise of the Delhi Sultanate taking power for nearly 300 years. Then, in 1608, British colonists took power in India and held power until India's independence in 1947. Currently in India, Hindu nationalism is growing and has been adopted by its current Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. Hindu nationalists are working towards a united Hindu government in India that breaks away from European colonialism. The eighth question asked is, how did the Hindu culture treat women? Like most major religions, Hinduism is predominantly male-focused, as women play a second role in the culture. While women are not harshly treated in the culture of Hinduism, a woman's primary duty is to help her husband in life and give birth and take care of his children. According to the ancient Veda texts, many women enjoyed more freedom and held administrative roles in the religion. However, most of this privilege was limited to well-placed families. They are still secondary to men in the order of life on earth. In certain ages, like the Gupta period, the Veda texts placed greater duties unto men and delegated women to help the men with said tasks. Most respect women had were as mothers and wives, so once their husbands had died, the woman lost her status in the family and suffered from many social disabilities. Despite women's lack of power, Hindus worshipped many female deities in the forms of mother goddesses and consorts to male gods. Many law books in Hinduism prohibit men from harassing women in their households, and it is a man's duty to protect his wife and take care of her until the end of life.
Hopefully this podcast helps you have a deeper and more meaningful understanding of Hinduism. It may seem tedious at first, but after learning more about the religion, hopefully you agree with us that Hinduism is an amazing and beautiful religion. Thanks for listening.